let's talk about the most underrated powerhouse in Minecraft. Steve's stomach. In the real world, you eat a sandwich. You feel full, right? Food is good. Steve, on the other hand, well, he eats a steak and suddenly he's running around, punching trees, mining diamonds, and wrestling the Ender Dragon. But wait, Steve's stomach doesn't just digest food. It's practically a nuclear reactor. Think about it. He can eat literal golden apples. They're made from, solid gold. And not only does he survive, but he somehow gains superpowers from that. How does that even work? Today we're diving deep, like bedrock level deep, to answer one burning question. Just how powerful is Steve's stomach? So grab your enchanted forks and let's find out. Part 1. What is Steve's stomach pH? Enchanted golden apples, the Minecraft flex food. They're literally made from 8 blocks of solid gold. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how does Steve's stomach digest something so indestructible? Here's the thing about gold. It's one of the least reactive metals out there. Drop it in water, nothing. Leave it in some toxic orange juice, well done, it now just smells of oranges. And if you put it in some human stomach acid, well, forget it. It's not changing for you. You need something way stronger to even make a small dent into gold. Now, normal stomach acid has a pH of around 1.5 to 3. Sounds pretty strong, right? Well, gold laughs at you when you suggest it can dissolve in your mere weak stomach acid. It's insulted by your weakness. For gold is subscribed. And hence is not defeated by you and your weak stomach unsubscribed acid. To dissolve gold, you need something very powerful. Something known as Aqua Regia, a mix of hydrochloric and nitric acid, with a pH of around, wait for it, -1. Now, a pH of that level is so acidic it can dissolve metal, burn through skin, and even eat through some lab equipment. And yet, there's Steve. He eats these golden apples like they're just a casual snack, and he's perfectly fine. That means that his stomach acid must be as powerful as, or if not stronger than, Aqua Regia. As for him to absorb the powers of golden apples, his stomach must therefore be dissolving said gold, since he doesn't get these powers with just a regular apple. Basically, what this means is that Steve has a mini supervillain lab hiding within him. Good for him though. Not many people can do that. But here's the thing, despite all those dangerous acids, Steve doesn't just melt into a puddle. How? Well, that brings us to the next question. Part 2. What is Steve's stomach lining made of? So, we've established that Steve's stomach is basically a portable acid bath, capable of dissolving even gold. But here's the bigger question. Why doesn't Steve's stomach dissolve Steve? Well, in humans, the stomach is protected by a mucus lining. It's like a biological raincoat that keeps the stomach acids inside us from, well, eating us alive. Kind of like what netherite armor does in lava. But let's be real. None of that is anything compared to what Steve's stomach is going to be dealing with. Remember, if his stomach acids is powerful enough to dissolve gold, the lining has to be next level, because this is some seriously dangerous stuff. So Steve's going to need stomach lining that's made of materials so durable that they more than likely don't exist in nature, with even the most advanced labs barely being able to craft them. So let's have a look at some of our contenders for Steve's stomach lining. First up, we have a netherite coating. Let's just be a little crazy for a moment, and imagine if Steve's stomach was lined with netherite. It's indestructible, can handle lava, and doesn't break, even under an acid storm. The origins of ancient debris are unclear, so perhaps it all originated from Steve's stomach. Maybe not. That is a little bit of a far stretch, and we in no way can prove that. Borosilicate glass. It's resistant to high heat and acid, commonly used in much cooking, but it's still no match for Steve's indestructible metabolism, since extremely acidic materials, such as Aqua Regia, will likely cause accumulatable corrosion over time. but Steve dies a lot and just respawns, so we could assume that all is healed after each respawn. So potentially, in a way, Steve's insides could basically be a kitchenware set. Again, probably not though. Wait, what's that? Imagine a futuristic biological alloy, a mix of organic and metallic compounds, designed to resist even the strongest acids. This would likely require the use of platinum, as that's one of the most acid-resistant metals, and the fusion of organic matter could ensure that this alloy remains stable and fused into the legendary Steve at all times. Steve can eat literally anything. Raw meat, spider eyes, pufferfish, you name it, and nothing phases him. Well, sometimes he gets food poisoning, but that's not important. His stomach is still very powerful and very resistant, and so ultimately in the battle of those three options for Steve's stomach lining, the biological alloy likely wins. Part 3. What is the volume of Steve's stomach? Alright, so we've established that Steve's stomach is a biomechanical wonder of science, able to handle acids stronger than a nuclear reactor, and is contained by some platinum coating. But that still leaves the question, how big is his stomach? And how much can it actually hold? Can Steve just keep on eating until the world ends? Let's talk volume. We know Steve eats like a machine, but how much space does he really have? Steve can eat an entire cake and still be hungry. In fact, he can devour around 1.5 cakes from an empty stomach. That's a huge amount of cake consumed, and Steve isn't that big. But hey, maybe Steve's just a tall guy with a slightly bigger appetite. No, it's actually much more than that. Because did you know that Steve can eat infinitely? And we aren't just talking light foods here, for I'm referring to enchanted golden apples. They're made with 8 gold blocks each. Now, a single gold block can weigh around 19,000 kilograms. So that's around 150,000 kilos of gold per apple. And Steve eats them like they're nothing. So by that math, Steve's stomach would need to handle nearly 150,000 kilos of gold at once. Oh, and that's just one apple. And he can eat them infinitely once every 2 seconds or so. And so that's going to put the volume of his stomach at an inconceivably large number. However, that's not exactly reality, because that's effectively impossible to achieve, given the difficulties of obtaining these enchanted golden apples today. Because no longer can they be crafted, you actually need to go and find them. So Steve's stomach is likely limited in its apple consumption, so maybe Steve's stomach volume isn't that big. But wait, there's water. Steve can drink a bottle of water and nothing happens. These bottles of water can be refilled infinitely from the ocean, without draining the ocean, and thus Steve is able to acquire an infinite volume of water. And he is able to drink all of it. Not to mention Steve has no waste products, and he doesn't need the water, thus it could be implied that Steve just stores the water in his stomach and throughout his digestive system. So what does this mean for Steve's stomach size? Well, if we can calculate the volume of a water bottle, multiplied by how many water bottles he can consume, we can work out the volume of Steve's stomach. However, since there's an infinite quantity of water bottles that he could consume, his stomach would therefore have an infinite volume, as he could fill it with an infinite amount of water. Part 4. The true power of Steve's stomach. Alright, so we figured out that Steve's stomach is practically indestructible, can hold infinite food, and somehow doesn't explode from all that acid. Cool. But what's actually powering this digestive powerhouse? It's you. Every time you hit that subscribe button, you're sending a tiny boost of power to Steve's stomach. Now, I know I can't confirm that scientifically, but it's just a proven fact. Just trust me on that. All jokes aside though, the truth might actually be even stranger than you think. Steve doesn't act like a regular human. He can eat anything, he doesn't get sick, he doesn't seem to have any normal limits like we do. So what if Steve's not even organic? What if Steve's not even real? What if Steve's a robot? A machine built to survive in a world that defies logic and physics. Think about it. He never gets sick, he doesn't care about lava, And his stomach has all these magical properties. He shouldn't exist. And so could he be part of some larger experiment? Maybe everything about Steve is fake. His body, his suit, and even his stomach and digestive system. A perfectly engineered system built to survive in a world where the laws of physics do not apply. His stomach is not physically possible. Again, let's look at the suit that's containing this stomach and containing his body. It looks... But perhaps that's part of the trick. Maybe it's part of this advanced technology and is secretly a masterpiece. Something that likely cost a lot of money to create. So consider watching this video to learn the secrets of Steve's suit and to learn how much it cost.